this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about the unexpected costs of app development. Alright, so last week I got a new phone. Look at this sleek little Nokia 1.3 Android phone. Actually, this is not an endorsement. I had to buy a phone last week because I needed another test device, and so I bought a phone. It's like whenever you upgrade to a new phone, or whenever I upgrade to a new phone, I get really excited about it. I can't wait for it to be delivered. But this was something I needed a new test phone for my app development. I don't know if you guys ever see, like on my desk here, I have a bunch of phones. I have like 4 different Android devices and 4 different iOS devices. And I have more than that actually, but some of them are so old, like they only run 32-bit programming, so that I don't even use them anymore, and I just have the latest stuff. But from time to time, you need to use physical devices. Now, a lot of times as an app developer, you have the simulator and you have the emulator, whichever emulator for Android, simulator for iOS. It's the same thing. You can run it on the screen and virtual. And a lot of things you could get by just with that. Like that's the fast feedback loop of app development, is when you're building on a simulator, you're refreshing, you go, and it makes life so much easier, but every so often you have to do things on an actual physical device. Testing you have to do on a physical device, because a lot of the times you'll find that you get memory issues when you move from, say, the iOS simulator to an actual iPhone. You find out that the memory issues, you have images that don't load properly, or the memory of the phone just can't handle it. That's where you get a lot of these crashes from time to time. So you have to do that on an actual physical device. And a lot of times, especially when we do stuff for clients, we have stuff that uses GPS or Bluetooth or other kind of things where it's just not practical to do it on a simulator. And that's why you have this cost of actually buying test devices and stuff like that. And it's one of those costs of doing business that you might not think about when you're getting into app development, or especially if you're getting into client work, right? When you're doing your own applications, you might have your own device and you're willing to accept certain risks and stuff putting out there. But when you do stuff for clients, you need to have tools just like any other professional does. Just like a plumber has tools, just like a mechanic has tools. As an app developer, you need to have tools. And this is something to think about when you're quoting for your client projects, right? You need to have a healthy margin, because as a professional, there are things that are going to come up that you don't anticipate, right? It's going to be, and ideally, it's not going to be one client paying for this. It's going to be like multiple clients. It'll be something like this Android test device. Hopefully I have a couple of good years out of it before it moves on to something else, and I have Android 12 or 13 device on my desk here. But it's one of those things about the cost of doing business as professionals. One of the big problems I had when I started doing client work, my first few client projects, was I just didn't charge enough. Right? I didn't anticipate the kind of things that would come up. Scope creep's the big one. Scope creep is the thing that you never expect is going to happen, but it always happens. I've never had a project that didn't have some scope creep involved, right? There's going to be something that comes up, and you can either say like, no, we just don't have the budget for that, and sometimes you just have to say that anyway. But most of the time you want to give a little bit, right? You want to keep that client for future work and everything like that. So you need to have that little bit of wiggle room in your margins. But then you have other things where you might have computer problems. You might need to get a new computer. Of course, not one client's going to pay for that, but you need to have that nest egg and that kind of that buffer to purchase those kind of things. So you need to get new test devices, new kinds of stuff, new types of stuff, and projects always take longer than you're going to expect them to do. So the point of this video I wanted to bring up is that there's unexpected costs that come up with app development, with any kind of software development. And it's not so much if you're doing web development or you're doing desktop development. It's easy to download all the different browsers. But with app development, and you're actually running stuff on a physical device, most of the time the operating system should be fine, and you should be able to do everything and not have to worry so much about testing on every single device, because the operating system should be able to that's what an operating system is. It's a blanket over the hardware that you could just program into the operating system. But sometimes you just have those situations where something doesn't work on a certain type of device, or you're doing something with like GPS or Bluetooth or all that kind of stuff, and you need that device. So that's my message today. For those of you guys who are thinking about doing client work, doing work for other people, think about those kind of costs that you may not even think about. Like, you're thinking about your time, and you're thinking about how long you think it's going to take. First of all, it's going to take longer than you think, most likely. And second, there may be other things that come up that you need to be able to put that into your margins. So anyway, I'm just going to enjoy my new Nokia 1.3 phone. I hope you guys are having a great week. Oh, here's my question for you guys. So I have like 4 iOS devices currently, my current test devices. 4 iOS devices. One of them is actually my phone, and 4 Android devices. How many test devices do you have, and how many are you able to just get by with just one, or do you have multiple like I do, or am I just being crazy? Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you again next time.